Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, I've got the juiciest housewife podcaster, a pioneer female podcaster. You're one of the first people. I've got Brandi Glanville here.
Hello.
And Brandi and I go way, way back. From the first time I met you, because we shared the same book agent, Michael Broussard. I came to a party. We have boys but at the same age. My boys are 16 and 13. How old are your boys?
16 and 12.
Okay.
Yes.
And so it was like a Memorial Day weekend, and some friend of yours was having a party, like a really good pool party, and in Tarzana, and it was and Brandi is, all her friends are models.
We're all ex-models. That's how we know each other.
But they're all models, and like several were pregnant, and they still had perfect bodies, but with a pregnant tummy. And Brandi has her tiny bikini bottom, and she's running around and playing with the kids, and it was really fun. So I've known you for many years.
And you look great too. Everyone. It was a hot party. Everyone was. It
was a hot party, but I had never seen moms like that. Sorry, but I loved it.
Sweet.
I was like, bring it on, pregnant model.
You hooker whore moms. Yes. Well, I mean, half of us were single. You know what I mean? We're like, you know, and when you get a divorce, you have to get your tits done and do the whole thing.
Well, you've like always looked great, and so we'll get in. Let's get into that you just were back on the show. I did your Barbie, which I was so excited about, and I went to Target to find a new Brandi Barbie because I don't want to recycle them from a different cast.
Yeah, that's
just gross.
It's disgusting.
And yours was a chef. She has a job. She's a chef. But I saw this face.
She has a job. That's nothing like me. Kidding, kind of.
But I saw this face and I was like, oh my God, she's got heavier brows. She has brown eyes and blonde and like a deeper blonde. Because some of them are platinum. Like my Camille is platinum. And
you have a Camille?
Oh yeah, I have a Camille. I have this Betsy from Kansas. She's a juicy scooper. I did one thing and she started to send me stuff. She could make the clothes, so she made her Barbie dress. And then your outfit we put together because you wore the bra and the net top, and I was so excited to do it. And so anyway, I'm really glad to have you here and back.
When you're like, I did your Barbie, I was like, was someone selling a Barbie? And then Salvador was like, no. She's like, I guess it was on my Instagram story, which
I
leave
everybody.
out because I don't know how to do Instagram story, and I'm afraid of social media these days. So I'm like, wait, Barbie, what? But yes, I saw it, and it's quite funny, and I love it. And she's way prettier than me, but I will take it all day.
It was great. And then you got to hang out with Denise. And Denise is everyone's new favorite housewife. The fans absolutely love her. The realness, the hot husband that's such a good stepdad.
But that's what it is. Like I went to hang out with her out of town on a set, and we were there for a couple of days. She is the nicest, most normal person. Her kids I was like on a family vacation with them.
Now, what do you mean? How did you meet them out?
I was doing podcast, and she's like, come here, I can't go there. You know, she's always working.
Oh, so she was a guest on your show.
Yeah, she was a guest on my show, but I went to her in Northern California somewhere. God knows where it was. It was far. But we went and we hung out, and I felt like I was part of the family, but she really is just a normal, sweet girl that happens to be a great actress and a sex bot, and the reason everyone got their lips and tits done. That's why I did.
To look more like her?
Well, remember, like, Wild Things? I told her this, too. I'm like, that's why I wanted my boobs done on my lips. Even though her lips are real, like, she's never had Botox, she's never done a drug.
She has a perfect nose.
She's a perfect everything, and I'm like, I really thought that across the face, I gave her, like, a little tap like that.
And do you think that she got over it, or was that something that, like, really pissed her off?
I don't, see, here's the thing. She doesn't get over anything ever. So, yeah, she's definitely not over it. But, like, as far as, like, all of the women now have issues with her, and this week after my appearance, I had all of these requests for interviews, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing them because my issues with Lisa have nothing to do with the issues that these women are now having with Lisa.
Yes.
So I'm not going to sit there and be the fall guy and be like, oh, yeah, it was me. No, my issues are different. She needs to resolve her issues with them on her own.
Right.
Their issues are separate. They have nothing to do with me. So when I knew I was coming here, because I didn't do interviews all week, I'm like, fuck, all right, I can't not show up because I already did that once, which is a complete, like, fucking brain. I blame the mold. Honestly, I've never done that in my life. I'm always on time. I show up. I'm proper. I'm prepared. So
what she's referring to is she's doing her podcast, which she's had for a long time. But Salvador, who I've known forever, that was Ross Matthews' former partner. They're boyfriends for 10 years, but now they're both separate. I mean, they're separated. They're not together anymore. But I've known him forever. You've known him forever.
Yeah.
He's a stylist. He's the nicest guy. He wrote and said, will you do the podcast with Brandi and I the day before? And I was like, yeah, I haven't seen Brandi in a long time. I think it'll be kind of fun. So when I got there, right when I arrived, is when he got the text from you saying that you weren't going to be able to make it. And I was like...
No, Ryan called me. He's like, where are you? You need to park somewhere. I'm like, what are you talking about? I had just gotten in my car to, like, go somewhere. And I was staying with a girlfriend because I couldn't stay in my place because we had mold. And I started crying. I go, I'm in, like, Beverly Hills, like, deep in Beverly Hills. There's no way I'm going to make it to North Hollywood in 10 minutes. And I can't. I have to go to the doctor.
I was like...
I know.
Well, I'm not going to stand up Salvador. I'm not going to be like, Salvador isn't good enough for me to do a podcast, because he is, and he's fabulous. And we actually had a really fun time. Like, it was actually really fun. And I'm glad that it all went down, because I did get your ass here. So I'm glad the way everything happened.
But I would have come here anyway. Like, obviously, I would have come if you just texted me and said, hey, come to my podcast. I mean, that's what, I mean, I feel like...
We did each other's podcast
a long time ago, yeah.
I was actually on an episode of Beverly Hills, which I was excited about, because you were doing your podcast on Podcast One. That was part of your life, which so it was featured. And then when I joined Podcast One, I think you came on for me way back when. And now we're both no longer there. We're both free at last.
We're rogue.
Exactly.
Free at last. Exactly.
But anyway, okay, so in talking about all of that, like, well, what is your like, I know one thing you said, I think in one of the interviews or somewhere, is you said, you know, I did cross her. Oh, no, you said it with Denise. I crossed Lisa Vanderpump, and I was punished.
Yeah,
for
you know,
years. I mean, do you think is that why you were not asked back on the show back like 3-4 years ago? Is because you called her on the magazine thing, which was, to get people up to date, there were tabloid magazines stating that some transgender person had some type of relationship with Mauricio. And it didn't seem very credible, but it was in the magazine.
It was in the Divorce magazine.
And you said that Lisa Vanderpump said, "Oh, bring those magazines in your bag, so then somehow maybe they'll fall out of the bag. It'll be a discussion on camera, and it'll really get out more than it's being out just in the tabloids."
Yeah, and it was horrible because, like, I feel like marriage is a hard enough thing on reality TV, and as much as Kyle and I, like, butted heads for a while because of Kim and everything, I'm not doing TV to ruin people's lives.
Right.
So it really just hit me like, this is your moment. You need to stand the fuck up for yourself and say no. Mm-hmm. And I did that, and you know, I knew what was going to happen. The second you do that, like, she cannot handle anyone going against her or having a difference of opinion. And I was sick of doing her dirty work for her. Honestly, I was really sick of it. And when I figured out that I was doing it, I continued to do it because it kind of became like Big Brother almost. You need an ally, like it's this team against this team, and you have to be friends with someone or it's not organic and you're not going to have a job. And
because if you're not friends with someone, then there's no scenes to go to lunch and get a pedicure.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, she would remind me all the time. She's like, you know, if we have this friendship, and if it wasn't for me, like, you wouldn't even be on the show. And so I kind of did feel like she was the reason I stayed on the show. So that she had me feeling like I owed her.
Now, when you say, like, I did the dirty work, are you saying that would she, like, put little drips of information in your head and know that because you're Brandi Glanville Unfiltered that it'll eventually come out? Or would she actually say, now at the dinner, I need you to say this?
She would never, she's very, very smart. She would never say to me, do this for me. Mm-hmm. We would talk every morning about the show exhaustively. Like,
mm-hmm. While you're filming.
Yeah. Like, every morning it's the phone call where you're like, oh, you know, talking just about the show in circles, and I have little kids.
Right.
I can't do it, and I'm not a planner, and I don't care that much.
Right.
We shot it, it's done, let's move forward. So I just felt like,
You just shut that door.
Sorry.
So go on, yeah.
I forgot the question.
No, you said, by the way, she wouldn't say do this, but
Oh,
she
yeah,
said, so you talk every morning about about the show and what's going on.
Right, so she would say, you know, that I would never tell you to talk about Adrian Circusy. I would never say that. I mean, that would just be
Adrian Maloof, yeah.
it would be the worst thing. But you obviously heard it from someone else, so it's not me telling you. And I'm like, okay, you know.
So that was my other question, because I always wondered what that was, and my theory, as a viewer that knows you guys, but I'm not on the show. I've met everybody socially, and I love all the girls. I'm a fan of the show. But my theory was that you guys did know about it, but she told you never to say anything. Or was it just never discussed?
You know, Kyle knew. People knew. I mean, my ex-boyfriend knew. I guess it was something that people in Beverly Hills knew.
Right. Well, how would it be a secret? Or like you know, and obviously it wasn't a big deal, but it was something she wanted to keep secret.
Private.
Is that she carried her first child, Adrian Maloof, and then with the twins had a surrogate. And she didn't want that getting out. But I thought the same thing. I'm like, she was already on like some other reality show about Beverly Hills plastic surgeons. So I'm sure she was on red carpets. I'm sure there's evidence if someone wanted to find out where clearly she wasn't carrying twins.
Apparently she wore a belly, like a fake belly.
Oh, so it was a really big
secret. For now, we, like, in that time, no one
Yeah.
was really talking about surrogacy.
Right.
Now it's, you know, obviously on the table.
And now it's completely open.
which
Kim
I love.
Kardashian. Yeah,
Right.
of course.
Thank
it's
God.
Great. Yeah.
But, you know, I was just kind of nudged in a weird way to get it out there. The
Mhm.
person that told me was friends with Lisa, and that's how I found out, and I had no idea. And, you know, it's just little bits of, it's manipulation.
And so then when they got so mad and threatened to sue you, Adrian and Paul Nassif, and
Who I'm totally friends with now. I like them both very much.
totally, that's
Yeah.
so good, because I like them both too, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that he's just got engaged, and she seems to be
Oh,
doing
did he
well.
get engaged?
Yes, he just got engaged,
Oh, wow.
and
Congratulations.
I've done a couple social things with her. She came on the podcast, and she's a huge advocate of. She's trying to get trained security dogs to be part of schools to protect
Oh, that
guns.
would be great.
So she's like on a whole other
Yeah.
level of like great things. But anyway, with respect to that, like, then it seemed like they were really defending you, Ken and Lisa, being like, she's a single mother. Please stop this.
Well, I think that there's some guilt there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I can always say, like, you know, when Lisa's caught off guard because she will repeat your question so that she can think of the answer, because she's that smart. She just needs a minute. So you're saying that I did this because of
Oh my
that,
God.
while she's in her head thinking, what do I do? And then she's like, I would never. And then she has the answer because she can multitask.
Yeah.
She's so fucking smart. So when she repeats something that you've just said to her and, like, she's not ready for it, she will repeat it back to you and then come up with the answer after she says it, because she's thinking while she's talking.
So when the shit went down and you called her on it about the magazines,
I was just done.
was that your last season then?
I don't remember. It was so, like, I think it was season 5 was my last season. I don't remember when that was.
No, I don't think that was the last season.
I think it was when I slapped her.
I think it was, the Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And then on the Amsterdam one is the other famous scene of Lisa Rinna breaking the glass
Oof.
at Kim. Don't you talk about my fucking husband.
That was scary because I had, like, glass shard all over me. Like, the glass actually broke, and, like, thank God it didn't get in, like, an eye or something. Like, I threw some wine.
That's up with the flipping the table.
Yeah, I threw
I
some
think those
wine,
two.
but, like, I didn't actually, I'm like, that's assault.
Yeah.
It really is. And when Lisa and I didn't get along, Rinna,
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking assault and battery. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, but that was extreme. But I think that when you're on camera, it heightens everything. And when someone talks about your husband or like, you don't talk about, I mean, you sign up for it, that's what's going to happen. But people are very protective about their marriages and their kids because they have to be.
Yeah.
And so
because I think entering that world, you are so putting your family in jeopardy. This is the thing that I've talked about with, like, many housewives that I don't think, like, fans realize. Like, by bringing your boyfriend on or your husband, you know, these are guys that are successful men in their 50s that have always gotten chicks and everything, and they go on the show and now people are talking about their jawline.
Yeah, it's
like,
really
it's
bad.
not something that they're used to. It can be really hurtful. It can be an ego, crusher. And I think it's really hard then for women who are single on the show to find a guy because
or they really, really like it.
Exactly.
And they want to be on camera all the
they
time.
They either are
and you're
too thirsty for it,
Yes.
or they say don't include me, and then that puts the girl's career in jeopardy because
Right.
they're like, you're
part of my life. I have to show my life. I signed up to show my life. And I think that was part of the reason that I probably wasn't asked back, because I couldn't show my kids, and I couldn't show
because of the divorce.
Because of my divorce.
Right.
You know, I didn't want the kids being so young to be on there, which I
Right.
actually agree with now, looking back. And now,
Like, I was just talking to Sonia, and I was like, your daughter was never allowed to be on.
Right.
And she goes, well, she wouldn't have wanted to be anyway. It's not part of her thing. I said, but now that your daughter's 18
Yeah.
and everything, are you happy that that was the case? And she's like, well, some kids thrive on it, and it's great, but it's, you know, prerogative. And I think that is sort of interesting, because I know, like, you wanted the kids on it at a time,
Right.
and, you know, your husband said
I just
no.
wanted to, I didn't want them, like, in the forefront, but I wanted to show, like, listen, I am a single mom. I'm making breakfast every day, and then
Right.
making lunches and going to school. It's not
18
like
hours of my day.
it's not me
is-
drinking all day long.
Right, 18 hours of my day is doing stuff with these kids, but if
Right.
you don't show the kids,
And you just show me showing
what
up at
else
parties
is there but
wasted.
going to lunch and having white wine?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's just her. She's drunk all day, every day. And I'm like, I wonder how I got them to school if I was so drunk all day, you know? But now that they're 16 and 12, you know, Eddie and I, my ex-husband, talked about it, and there, you know, there's some talk of some reality work coming up. And he said, you know, on occasion, if they want to be, and if it's just in the background, like, I would be okay with it. And I think it's important to have that, because I don't have a significant other. I mean, I have fuckboys, but, you know, I don't have, like, a man in my life that, I mean, partly I think because of reality TV, because they're like, oh no, that bitch is crazy on TV, I'm not trying to date her.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to, like, go and possibly go on a date with someone and do a little, like, Facebook or Instagram stalking, but they can really stalk your whole life. They really know the whole shebang, and I think that is difficult.
It's hard. I mean, I say that reality TV kind of ruined my love life, because, you know, you can Google, and there are some very unattractive, wasted pictures of me online before I realized I'm supposed to just fucking get drunk at home and not leave my house when I'm drunk. And I had been doing so good.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't been out publicly drunk until just recently, and that was a complete accident, and I blame the mold. I really blame, I have mold poisoning, I'm getting rid of it, but I was just not myself.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, you're a Mr. Chow, you know there's fucking photographers out there.
Right.
And that's why I don't go to Mr. Chow. It was my friend's birthday. It's her her favorite place. I had no choice. And I even said to myself, okay, Brandi, behave. And I did not. But I really, you know, didn't do that on purpose in any way. I just wasn't feeling good. And, you know, it hit me more like than it normally would.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're still friendly with Kim.
Oh yeah, Kim and I, like, we talk all the time. We had like a little like hiccup recently. You know, as you do with friends,
Right.
You get in little arguments. So it was like a little argument, but we're fine. Like, I just saw her and we're good. But sometimes you have to take a break.
Were you on the show when she had the hideous boyfriend that she met at her mailbox?
Yes.
What the fuck was that? I wake up in the middle of the night still haunted by that ugly face. And you had a really funny line. Do you remember what it was?
He was a bull mastiff. He did look like a bull mastiff. A little bit.
I just love that she, like, lived in Westlake Village and went to her mailbox, which is, like, literally, like, down, not a long road. Like, your mailbox is in front of the house. It wasn't like a ostentatious house. And she's like, I met him on my mailbox. Were they both, like, I think they were both using at the time.
I don't know, but you saw, I mean, that season was rough. So that was a rough season. I think that I am now no longer involving, like, myself between Kim and Kyle. Like,
Yeah.
And Kim in her sobriety, she's sober. She's taking it. She says it every day. It's one day at a time. And I'm not going to, like, say, oh, I've been sober for this long, or I'm going to be sober for this long, because it is one day at a time.
Right.
And she's now realizing that she can't make any promises, because you just you don't know.
Yeah.
And she's doing her best work and being her best self, and
because she's the grandma now.
yeah, she's a grandma, and she's got she's got 85,000 children.
Yeah.
And no, she does. She's a lot of fucking kids. Like,
She has 4 kids, right?
I
Four.
think there's 5. Is there 4? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know them all, but they all look very alike, and they're all pretty, and then there's one boy.
Right.
So I don't know if it's 8 girls or 3 girls or 4 girls, but I get them all confused, but they're lovely.
Yeah.
And
right. I mean, I think that's what really made Beverly Hills so exciting, was that people remembered them on television from Little House on the Prairie and Witch Mountain, and then you saw them, and I recently made a reference to the fact that, like, I remember watching it one time and I was like, oh my God, their history of each other both being child actors, except Kim was the more successful one, and now Kyle is like coming up. It's a little bit like a classic movie, Whatever
Right.
Happened to Baby Jade. Have you ever
No,
seen that movie?
I haven't, but I know what you're saying.
Yes.
Because
Like
there's also Kathy in the mix, who's
Exactly.
famous for being Paris Hilton's mom, and
Who was also an actress too.
Right,
They
so-
all got married young. They all got married at like 18,
And
which
there's
is
no-
unusual.
yeah.
Even back then, it was very unusual to get married that young.
and then their mom is passed, so they don't really even have a parent to say,
to wrangle
to-
it.
yeah, like, come on, girls, like, get it together. So
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't want to be involved in the sisters anymore.
Right.
I like them all separately, and I'm good with all of them separately.
I'm still trying to figure out that you stole my goddamn house.
I stole your house? Oh,
No.
I don't even
No.
have a house.
The famous, you stole my goddamn house. What it was.
Oh, well, I know, but I'm gonna let them.
Yes.
You're gonna have to talk to them about that.
As a former realtor, I have my theories of how that could be, how that may have gone down, how it could have been misunderstood, how it could have been, whatever. But I'm glad they're on good terms because, they do have all the sisters and all the kids that are cousins and all of that. Now, there's talk that she and you are both coming back. Now, obviously, you can't talk about that, but what do you think?
Well, but obviously, I don't fucking know. Everyone thinks that the other cast members know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to tell you. They just shot the reunion, and the only person that makes that decision is Andy Cohen. And they're not even talking about shooting next season yet.
Yeah.
And who's coming, like, the girls don't even know if they're coming back. All
Right.
the people on there. So it's kind of funny when people are like, oh, there's talk of this and talk of that. I think that maybe the fans want certain things and they put it
Mhm.
out there, but
Right.
we don't know anything, and literally until the last minute, because they don't want anything leaking to the press. They don't want anyone talking about it.
What do you think of what did you think of the whole bunny thing?
Oh, fucking stupid fucking bunny. I can't.
I'm
like,
so bummed because like 2 years ago or a year or something, a fan came to my stand-up show and gave me a miniature plastic bunny in a bag that would have been so amazing for my Barbie scenes, and it was the exact same bunny but small,
Oh.
and I swear I think Peter just threw it out. Like
Yeah.
he's like a
He's
thrower
so- yeah,
outer,
he's
and I
in-
just
he's
drive
against you.
oh my God, I
He's
would want to kill him. Like he thinks I'm a hoarder, and I'm like, I'm not. Like these are bits.
Yeah, you need it.
Anyway, that's what did you think of that whole thing?
The bunny, I like I said, it's first of all, it looked like one of those like bunnies that came from Mexico, like wrapped in cheap cellophane that you fucking put a tampon of Coke up it. Like you smuggle Coke inside one of those bunnies. Like that's what that was not an expensive bunny. Like
I
where did
know.
you get that? The 99-cent store? Because I've seen that. Like that like a kid would suffocate on that.
Right,
Wrapping.
and yeah, not a great
No,
gift.
you can't give that to
And
a
if
baby.
it doesn't like aesthetically fix your room, you may not even use
It was
it.
an ugly bunny. It was hideous, and like it just seemed like it could have been like a problem for a baby to be around that. Like there was chemicals coming from it, and I don't understand why someone would cry getting a bunny back. I would just be like, fucking stupid bunny, who cares? But the bunny has become, I mean, it's kind of like, it's their friendship. It's not about the bunny.
Yes.
It's about what they had going on. And I think that no matter what happens, they're crying because, Lisa's crying because she's hurt that Kim can't be forgiving, and that Lisa's crying because she's hurt because she did shit that was wrong.
Right.
I don't think that those two are ever going to be close friends. I like them both separately, and I won't talk about either one of them
Yeah.
with either one of them because it doesn't, Kim
Yes.
doesn't want me talking to Lisa right now. She's
Right.
not happy. She's like, don't say that name. Don't. But, they've made up now
Right.
on TV, and I think they're fine right now. Like I said, we're having a little hiccup. We had a little hiccup, so
Yeah.
I think it's a stupid fucking bunny, and I think it's more about what happened between them and not a bunny. But
Right. Exactly.
that bunny was like cheap.
But the bunny does make all those things as fans fun for us.
When I
The
saw
bunny
it,
gate, the puppy gate, like all that stuff that we all complain about, like enough with it. But I'm like, yeah, but
We
it's
love
working
it,
because we're
right?
still talking about it,
yeah, but really in the end, it's not about a dog. It's not about a bunny.
Right.
It's not about it's not like what is that Animal Planet? It's not.
Yes.
It's about friendships, and these things kind of just represent the bullshit that's gone on between
Right.
everyone, and everyone's sick of it. Like they
Yeah.
were just sick of RVP's stuff, and they were Kim and how do Kim and
And I feel
Lisa-
like it got so far away, then there was no coming back. Like then with her not then participating and being in the show, there was really no way to go with it after if you're not going to come on and show
when you're
up.
getting paid as like one of the highest people on the show, you're getting paid that much fucking money, and then you decide not to show up. And also, this is my opinion, not to show up to the reunion. It's when you're close friends with Andy as well.
Right.
And he says, like, you know, as your friend, and
Because Adrienne Maloof didn't show up.
she didn't,
And
she was fired.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Andy wasn't that close with Adrienne, but like Lisa and Andy have a very close relationship. I think it's not fair for the viewers. You're getting paid all this money. We want to see some resolve. And had she showed up, I would think that they could have had some resolution.
Yeah.
But because she didn't, now there probably won't be any resolution ever. You know,
Right.
because she's done. She's not. I mean, I would think if she didn't show up, you're fired. I don't know if that's. Yeah, I think Andy said it on his Instagram. So
Yeah, I definitely don't think she'll be coming back next season.
no, she's not. I think
You
that's
know,
been made clear.
Yeah, I mean, if maybe a couple of years down the road, you know, she wants to come back in a different capacity or whatever, or now she's got a grandmother story. I don't know. Because, I mean, eventually Pandora's going to have a baby, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think she needs it, but yeah, I think
It just didn't make sense anymore because the girls were all younger, you know, than her, and they were getting in bathing suits and jumping off cliffs and doing things that she would never do.
Right.
You know, she's not that person. So it didn't make sense that they would even be socializing because they're different people.
Mhm.
And it didn't make sense they would be, you know, hanging out and socializing with someone that's not going to get in a bathing suit and go to the Bahamas and be an asshole and have a glam team, and it's not Vanderpump.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, I never want to see, like, I'm never, like, pushing for anybody to leave except, like, a few of the one-hit wonders. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the Armenian girl, Peggy from OC, was, like, I loved doing her voice, but, like, that was the fakest, like, worst choice. Didn't
Yeah.
match with the girls.
I didn't like that. I mean, it was just like her husband controlled her, so
it was just
everything she said. So I was like,
and I
wait.
feel like they were so, like, planting the scenes. That it was so obvious.
But that's when I watch even now some of the OGs on some of the
Yes.
I can tell when it's authentic and when they're like doing something that they know the fans like.
Like, did you watch New York?
Yes,
the
I
other
did.
night? What's your opinion of the blow up between Bethany blowing up on Luann at the end of the dinner?
Well, I saw Bethany and Dennis right before,
Mhm.
unfortunately, right before
He passed.
Yeah, he passed, and she was not in a great place. Like he was not in a great place, and I do think going from having someone that you love just pass away, then going into shoot reality TV, is you don't have time to grieve. Like it's
Right.
and then all of a sudden you have all of this dumb drama, and I
Mhm.
think that it was authentic, and she just had a drink, and she lost her shit. It was like all these little things building up
Right.
to then exploding because she did all of these things off camera with Luann. She did help her, and now Luann's acting like she's the queen of the world.
Right.
And not even, talking about Dennis and not like saying how are you and thank you. Like I think the word thank you goes a long way
Mm-hmm.
because Bethany did things off camera to help Luann. She got her into treatment. She did that's a big deal, and now Luann's acting like none of that
But my
happened.
favorite part as a connoisseur, a consultant of reality TV,
Yes.
a truly an expert, maybe like 5 years from now, I will be teaching a class on reality TV and USC.
You should do it now.
I really
What are you
should.
talking about?
So if USC would like to hire me or UCLA, honestly, that would be like a very exciting career pivot.
Well, isn't there a class on the
I don't know, but-
Kardashians? No, there's a class on the Kardashians.
Kardashians at
Yeah.
some school, but I
Yeah,
should just
I
be
love that.
reality TV. But when in her freak out with Bethany, my favorite part, and I really, in reading everything from the last 2 days, nobody caught this. Like nobody's writing about this. Is when Bethany goes, I kept you from running in a field in a
Naked.
negligee,
But no-
so nobody would know about it. I'm like,
I
well, now they do.
But I heard that too. I'm like,
Well, now they do.
Why was that happening? And what field? And what, like, where and when? I was like,
But here I'm like,
Right.
so the fact that you did hide that from the world, who cares now? It's
well,
like,
I kind of care because I was like, what?
well, I
Yeah.
care, but I'm saying that your Christian service of doing that, Bethany, is washed.
Yeah, but-
because now you've told the world. It's the same thing when Ramona said to Bethany about her being in some B movie, and she did the legs. Mention it all. I almost wanted Lou to go, mention it all. Why don't you mention how fucked up I was? Why
Right.
don't you mention the nice things you did off camera? Because you're doing it now. But I think Luann was like, sober and so shocked, and everybody was like, oh my God, she's going to have a heart attack. And, but that's exactly it. That good deed, she had all that ammunition, and then she spilled it, and now it is part
But
of
it
the show.
wasn't just that good deed, because it was like, it
No,
was
there were
the
several
rehab
things,
and
yeah.
getting the lawyer and doing
But
things.
nobody knew about the
I
light
know.
negligee in the field, and
But-
you're imagining her like about to go drunk drive in a negligee running through a field, and and that's a pretty traumatic thing that Bethany
Was
did.
she running to her car, like in a negligee through a field to drive?
I don't know, but I just think that then by mentioning it then when the cameras are all around,
Right.
well, now it is out there. So who cares that you kept the paparazzi from taking a photo?
Well, welcome to Housewives. That's what when
Exactly,
You have
that's what it
when
is,
you
yeah.
have something on someone, and you hold it and you say you're not going to say it. There's always that chance, and it will be said. Let's just be clear. It will get out there.
Right.
And I told Denise, I'm like, do not tell anyone any secret that you might have ever. Do not trust your best friend Lisa Rinna. Do not trust anyone. Not that she has secrets, but
Right.
if she had, I said, because it will come out.
Yes.
That is what it is. All of it comes out eventually. So if there's any skeletons in anyone's closet, or anyone has something on someone else, it comes out eventually.
Yes.
And you have to know that like when you sign up for reality TV, somebody needs to tell you that. So that was my gift to Denise. Like, don't tell anyone anything about anything. If it's a secret, you can't.
Going back to when you were first approached, and I remember, following your story in the tabloids about, your husband with Leanne Rimes and seeing you. And I remember my first thought was like, oh my God, she's like gorgeous. Who the fuck would cheat on this gorgeous model? Like, that's really what I thought. I was like, oh, not that, and we all know that it has nothing to do with the person that you're with, Halle Berry, everybody has been cheated on.
Beyonce.
So,
like, if somebody you're cheating Beyonce, everyone's getting cheated on. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like.
But when they approached you, were you a fan of the show? Were you excited? Were you hesitant? Like, how did you feel?
I was, I had watched Orange County in the past. I hadn't watched Beverly Hills, but I thought maybe I saw like an episode or two. I think it was had been on for one season. I was broke. I had no money. My ex-husband and I were fighting still in the divorce, and all of our money was being held up in an escrow account until we signed our papers. So there was no money, like literally. And they were like, do you want a job? I'm like, I will basically I'm going to start hooking on the side if this doesn't work out. So I was like, I'll do anything. They're like, well, what would happen if this happened? I'm like, I have nothing to lose here. I've lost everything that I have. My family, I obviously still have my kids, but in that moment, I felt so desperate, and I'd never seeked out to be on TV ever. That was my husband's job. He was an actor. I was, a mom, and that's what I did. And it just kind of crazily fell into my lap. And I just said, okay, because I didn't have, nothing else was falling into my lap.
Yes.
I was falling into a few guys' laps, but that was it.
Right.
There was I have a public high school diploma, barely.
Mm-hmm.
What was I in that moment going to do? I was living out of a Range Rover, couch surfing. There was okay, I'll do it. Sure. What do you want? Where? I'm in.
Right. And now, and then when you didn't get asked back, how was that?
I had a gut feeling that I wasn't going to be asked back. Just my agent was like, no, that's crazy. You make the show. I was so depressed in that during that season, that last season, and
Which was the Amsterdam season.
Yes, I was depressed. I was drinking too much. I was not happy, and it showed. And I even told Andy, I'm like, I'm not going to the reunion. It's going to be a firing squad. Everyone's against me. Why would I show up to just have everyone yell at me? And he's like, well, first of all, honey, you don't go, you don't get paid. I said, okay, I'm going to go, and I'm not going to say anything. And he's like, okay, good luck with that. So, I'm obviously, I can't hold my mouth. It's just me.
Yes.
So I sat there, I'm like, not going to say, I'm not getting involved, but it just started coming at me, and then it just, I let loose.
Yeah.
But I think it was a break that I needed in that moment, just to regroup and realize it's not that fucking serious. Why am I taking all of these, bullshit fights, so to my heart?
Yeah.
Why am I letting it affect me when, it shouldn't? These are
Right.
dumb fights. But I was at that time kind of obsessed with social media, and any tweet that you're getting that's most of them were hate tweets, and most of them you're trash or this, you start to kind of believe it and get in your head. And that in that moment, I had to step away. I stepped away from social media. I have people that even help me with it now, because it's just not fucking healthy.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that you get, or that I get, is hate.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then I have my supporters, and they're great and they're lovely, but I'm not living my life on social media anymore, and I'm in just such a better place. I know that if I was having these dumb fights right now, I wouldn't care so much.
Right. Well, social media is like an addiction, just like, or like you're on a diet and you put dishwashing soap on the chocolate brownies. Like, I'm not going to have any more. Sometimes you have to turn off your phone and put it in a drawer and be like, I'm not touching it for 24 hours. And if that's what you have to do because, you know, and I know a lot of people now, like Lala Kent and stuff, will post things and she'll just turn off the comments before.
Yeah.
Like, she still has to post because it's part of her job, but she, you know, if it's, she doesn't want to post and have someone write something mean about her fiance.
People are
you
horrible.
know?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, social media is the most antisocial thing I've ever seen in my life. It really is. It's not like, I'm like, okay, my friend's like, will you post about my business? You know, she's doing like Botox and all these things. She's a nurse. I'm like, I will do that. I have no problem with that. Like, I will show people, but just realize people are gonna come and say, oh my God, you made her look like a cat. She looks ugly. She looks horrible. Like, stop doing that. Stop fucking with your face. Stop with the plastic. So if you're ready for that and you can handle it,
right?
Like, I'm happy to do a post for you because I love you. But it's
did she say yes?
No, she backed out. I was like, but you know, I could turn off the comments. But,
yes.
You know, so it is like, I know what I'm gonna get.
Right.
And I have people that help me with it now that I pay to help me with it. It's because I go on once a day and I look and I take about 15 minutes and I do like an all tweet and I won't look back. And it's the second I like sit and really get involved. If I have wine, I have too much time on my hands, I can cry.
Yeah.
Like, and when I cry, I lash out. Like I say, if someone hits me, I take a gun and I shoot them not once but twice. So it's bad.
Yeah.
That's just how I have a Glanville temper.
So, speaking of drinking, you enjoy the drinking. Have you ever thought maybe you need to go?
Stop. Now, you know what?
Or stop.
I feel like.
Or curtail.
No, you know, because with this mold thing, like when I don't want to drink, I don't drink.
Let me just say with the mold thing. So Brandi is in an apartment that had mold poisoning, which is something that happens all over, but it is something that happens in Southern California, and it's very, very bad and very dangerous. So
right. So when getting out of that and getting that out of your system and whatnot, you can't put fermented sugar on mold and expect it not to grow. That's wine. So and I don't want a moldy vagina. I'm like, wait, how far down does this go? So no, I just stopped drinking for a couple months.
Oh,
and
you
I had
have?
nothing.
Okay.
Well, I'm drinking again now. Now that I'm out of the mold.
Oh, okay.
But I don't. The thing is, I feel like if I want to drink, I drink. But if I say to myself, I don't want to drink, I'm not going to drink today, I don't have to drink today.
Speaking of which, do you think Luann is really an alcoholic? Because a lot of people don't.
I feel like everyone's story is different. I mean, I don't.
And what does really constitute alcoholism?
Right.
It can be that, you know what, your rock bottom happened, whether you could have another drink and just have one glass of wine and be fine. After going to rehab, after saying you're an alcoholic, like, that's your prerogative.
I feel like she was kind of forced into it by the law.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the AA thing that began in, I don't know, the 30s or something, a lot of people are taking different avenues of that. That doesn't really work for everybody.
Right.
You know, that isn't, like, one thing in the episode was how she took Sonia to the AA.
They like force Sonia to go. By the way, Sonia's on vacation.
I know, I totally agree.
Don't you get fucked up on vacation?
Like,
I
and
love
Sonia's like,
Sonia.
who wants to go to an AA? But my friend I have a friend who had a rock bottom situation for her. And she's like, I have to tell you something. I'm going to AA meetings. I'm not drinking. And I was like, okay, I personally don't think that you are, but I will support it. It's great. If anything, you'll just look great after a month or whatever. Like, you'll just puffiness down.
Detox.
But one thing she said that I thought was really interesting is when she was going to the meetings, she at first went to the normal meetings, and then she found that there were all female meetings, and she went there. And I'm like, that is really what it should be, because the whole thing is, if you're AA, you shouldn't have a relationship for a year, and this and that. And now you're with these people, and there's no alcohol around, and there's the hot guy, and you're meeting somebody. I mean, Sonia said, the one hot guy that wasn't homeless hit on me. Like, I get that. So I thought, that's something that I wonder if more people know about.
Well,
like, there should be AA meetings that are just the same sex.
But also, because a lot of people trade in one addiction for another.
Right.
So if they're an alcoholic, then they might move to drugs, or if they're...
Or they get addicted to AA.
Yeah, or AA, or they get a sex addiction all of a sudden, or they're gambling. Like, they do trade
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know if what I believe in. I don't know if I believe in AA. I have friends that completely worked for it. My girlfriend's like 13 years sober, like 3 days ago, and I love that, and that worked for her. But no, like I feel like if I don't want to drink and I don't drink, it's not like I have to drink or I feel that like I don't have a craving. If I'm out socially, like having fun, I'll have a fucking drink. I don't care.
Right.
Or 8. It's
yes,
fine.
that's the way I've been. It's always been a social thing. It's been about the stemware sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I just like
it's pretty.
Yeah, like I don't like it when they put the wine in the
cups.
glass.
I can't do it.
Or a masonry jar. I don't want to drink out of an old apricot jam cup.
No, I don't either.
I don't like that.
I like a stem. I need a stem. And then supposedly you're not supposed to heat the wine up with your hands anyway.
So why are there wine glasses that are to the ground?
They're disgusting.
I don't like that either.
I feel like we feel like Dorit, like we sound like Dorit right now.
But it's true because it's about the stemware. It's about the champagne being in the flute. And I don't like the 1960s champagne glasses that are wide. I don't like it.
They spill on you. That's
exactly.
why.
They spill.
Stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is that, and a lot of it is like the ceremony of, or being at a football game at 11 a.m. and having a Bloody Mary, like the certain drinks that go with the
certain
occasions.
Days, like brunch, you have a mimosa or you know whatever. It's part of
the
martini.
The martini because the bar is pretty. Like when the bar is really pretty. I'm like, oh, I don't want just a boring glass of Chardonnay. I don't want like some well, I like a cucumber martini, whatever. So that's cute. That's cute.
No, I think it is a very social thing for me. I don't sit at home alone drinking, and I had been doing that when on my last season of Housewives, because I was so depressed, and when my kids would go to their dad's, I went to the Chardonnay, or the Pinot Grigio. Yeah. And I realized that it wasn't. It was just lonely. Yeah. Because I was obsessed with social media and what everyone was saying about me was so horrible. You start to believe it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, maybe that's just me, and then you're drowning your sorrows, literally.
Let's talk about a few of the one-hit wonders. 25 grand sunglasses. That was your season, right?
Dana,
and then she went to prison.
That's what I heard.
Yes.
I have not seen her since. I wonder what happened to that cute baby, because you're looking for a baby to just like rescue. That could be your baby.
I remember she had a baby.
Oh, he was so cute, that little baby.
I don't know if she went to prison, but she was convicted. She might have done a house arrest thing, but it was a medical insurance fraud situation with her business.
Good.
What about the witch?
I was texting with her this morning. Carlton, I love her. We're still friends.
They got divorced.
And
she was into swinging and threesomes and stuff.
I don't know that. Did they talk about that?
Yeah, on the show. Yes, they did.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you made out with her.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What do you mean, of course? You make out with girls all the time still?
I like girls, too.
Oh.
I like girls, I like boys.
Yeah, have you ever been in a relationship with just a girl, like two lesbians? You have? Recently?
Yes. After Housewives. Yeah.
Where you wouldn't cheat on them with a man?
Well,
or you wouldn't be with a man?
I wasn't with a man. It was just her.
Solely her, like, sleeping together, messing around every night, full on.
Yes, but luckily she lived in Santa Barbara. And so, because she, like, was real in real quick, like the jokes about lesbians.
Yes,
completely true.
Second date is a U-Haul.
And I'm like, whoosh. Like, and so it didn't last that long, but I've definitely been in relationships with women, and my ex-husband always used to say, you give off such a lesbian vibe. I'm like, well, I like girls. So, and I love men. I just like being attracted to who I'm attracted to. It's not whether it's a guy or a girl in the moment. It's who in this room is not in this room.
And so you've always been bi.
Yeah, I just don't, I've never liked the word.
Do you do threesomes a lot?
Not a lot, no. But I have. Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh, here's a list. This is what I do.
Now, in threesomes, because I've never had one, and I never will, because I just don't. I'm just not that horny, to be totally honest. I'm not that. Yeah, I'm good with the way things are. I like my life. I think as I get older, I'm even less. Who cares? But I always feel like a threesome. There's a good chance that one person will be on the edge of the bed crying. Yeah.
I think that
there's
a lot of rules, and so that's why you kind of want to discuss that ahead of time.
Yeah.
And for me, I like it to be 100% organic, so I can't discuss it ahead of time.
Okay.
So I want it to just happen. I don't want to plan a threesome. I just want to, you're out drinking and you're having a good time, and it just fucking happens.
And does everyone spend the night in the bed?
I don't think everyone spends, well, I can't, they've all been different.
Okay.
So I can't say that everyone even spends a night.
Yeah.
And then, a couple of times I've, let myself out of the situation because clearly these two had more to do.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had to go. I mean, I was just like, okay, my work here is done.
Okay.
And listen, it's spread the love. It's spread the legs, spread the love.
What
I just made that up.
about Joyce?
Oh,
That's
Jacqueline?
Joyce. No, Joyce.
I know. I call her Jacqueline. I renamed her because I don't like the name Joyce. Yeah. What about her? What?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Still great hair.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's it.
What about the girl that was the Faye Resnick nemesis? What was her name? The one that had something to do with OJ.
Oh, I was just talking.
Oh,
Somebody
it was her husband. Her
Yeah, it was
first
like a
husband
baseball player or something.
cheated on her with Nicole Brown Simpson, and
somebody got
Faye
married.
Resnick wrote about it in her book, and they brought her on so that she would give Faye Resnick shit. And
Wow.
Faye Resnick was never a cast member, but she was on more episodes back then.
I know. I remember.
Yeah.
Faye and I never really got along. We're
that's
fine
right.
now. Like
Yeah.
I saw her at the agency a couple years ago, and I'm like, hey, hi, I'm good. Like, but
Yeah.
Faye can hold her own. She
Right.
first of all doesn't. Yeah, she can be fine. She's on her own. But I just think it didn't click. Like no one wanted to talk about the OJ stuff on the
Right.
show because it's fucking depressing.
It's so depressing, and I remember I bought her book right when it came out because I was obsessed with it because I lived around the corner
Yeah,
from the
of
crime
course.
scene. And then somebody sent me it again, and I read it all over, and everything that she said in that was then proven true 20 years later in all the other documentaries, all the things that they said she was lying about and this and that, including this cheating thing. He
Well, there you have it.
absolutely was
Yeah.
cheating on her with, and it was in that book.
Right.
And
well,
it's like, but you're right. I think it was too hard to follow. I think younger viewers don't have the knowledge
and
that
I
we
don't
do.
think that Faye wanted any part
No,
of it
Faye
either.
doesn't.
So like,
And Faye doesn't. And I remember when, I became somewhat friendly with Faye, and she said, yes, I'll do your podcast. And then she was about to do it, and she goes, will you call me? And I go, you know what? If you're stressed about this,
Right.
just fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? You do
Maybe
not need to do my show and have a stomach ache and worry that it's good. She's like, I just feel it always comes back to that. And it's not about the domestic violence,
Yeah.
charity that I want people to be aware of. And I go, totally fine, forget it. Like,
I mean, she
don't-
was younger. She wrote a book. Everyone fucking writes a book. I mean, like,
her book is fucking great. People should read that book because reading it now, since then, all these people have confirmed what she said
Yeah.
was true. But at the
it's
time,
insane.
people were like, she's
I'm
lying.
gonna get it because I haven't read it.
No, like there was a second documentary. I mean, there was a recent documentary about it, and I think it was I think it was on ESPN or something. And that one confirmed all these things that had never been confirmed before that
But-
she had written about. Yeah.
And I think this woman that was on, they had on Housewives, lived in San Diego. Like,
Oh right, the
you're
girl.
like, wait
I
a
wanted to
minute.
say she wore green a lot. In
I don't
Green Eyes.
remember
I don't
her
remember.
name, but she was like very unmemorable.
And you weren't on the show during the crazy
Catherine,
Camille-
yeah,
oh,
I know.
Catherine.
I do not know.
Did-
I've never met Catherine.
And you weren't on the show during the medium, with the big drinks.
No, that was the first season one.
of Camille. Oh,
I
okay.
was on season 2. I started on season 2.
on 2. Okay.
That was, I mean, that'll just go down in history. It's like just epic.
yeah.
It's just fucking epic.
But Camille no longer talks to that woman.
Well, Camille is an idiot right now.
Oh well, tell me why you.
Well, have you not
Camille.
been watching?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I just feel like she's doing everything she's doing is to stay on the show for next season. It's not authentic to her, and she doesn't even mean half the things that she's saying. I feel like she really did talk shit about Vanderpump's teeth, which was a low blow
Mhm.
because she was a mean girl. Maybe that's who she is. I have always gotten along with Camille, but I never really. She goes the way the wind blows. Like if somebody's talking shit about this person, she'll talk shit about that person. If somebody's talking about another person, she goes that way. I just feel like she wanted to pick a fight with Dorit, so that it made it sure that she would come back next season. I don't feel like it was authentic in any way, shape, or form. So, and I don't like watching things when I don't think they're real. If I wanted to do, I would watch Law and Order. If I want to
Yeah.
see scripted TV, I will watch a scripted fucking show.
Right.
I don't like when people self-produce. It drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, and I think we see it a lot now.
A lot.
And I think the reason we do is because people are getting on shows that they've watched for 10 years, and it's just like you learn it. You
Yeah.
you just learn it, and you're like, well, this is the way we're going to get it out, and then. Like there's just certain things that now the fans are catching on and they're
Right.
getting annoyed, and I've said this for years, not years, probably the last year and a half. I've said the way to evolve these shows is to have break the fourth wall and have the producers talk about it.
Well, they're doing that a little bit now.
A tiny bit, but they need to do it more. Like if you are doing an event at one of these casinos as a housewife and something goes down, before or after you did that. Why can't they just say that? Why couldn't they just go, okay, so Brandi, you were at the Mystic Casino,
Right.
and you got a call from so-and-so because you were making an appearance. We all know that you guys have businesses and opportunities because you're on the show, and to act like it doesn't exist anymore, I think doesn't work. I think it worked 10
Right.
years ago. I don't think it works anymore.
And I also feel like there's, on the opposite side, is one season, I don't remember what season it was, on all of them, they were all, it was like an infomercial for all their different products.
Right.
And I don't want to see that. I don't give a fuck. I want to see interactions with these women. I don't want to see, you know, Lisa Rinna pitching her HSN and then this and then the agency.
But at the same time, if that's
If
Lisa's
that's-
job
no, yeah,
going
no,
to
I get it.
Pennsylvania, then
But
like we should see it,
we-
and that's a great.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But at one point, it was like all of them just had a product to pitch, and
Yeah.
there was no interaction between them.
Right.
It was just like, okay, I have to go do.
Well,
a
that's where I
pitch.
think the hypocrisy of Bethany comes in, because she's pushed and talked about that skinny girl forever, but then they're annoyed that Luann talks about the cabaret, and it's like, well, Luann has to sell tickets, and that's her job too. And if we've had to see every skinny girl launch, every jean fashion show, every, you know, which I love, I think it's entertaining. I never want to see Bethany leave. But like, well then Ramona can hold her ageless eye cream in bed, knowing that the camera's there. I don't blame her. She's finally jumping on the wagon 12 years later. Like, be smart about it. But at the same time, like, I don't think that you can.
For me, like I like Bethany, and I'm kind of more on her side because she was the OG that started it.
Right.
She was already
Brilliant.
doing Skinny Girl before Housewives.
She
was
created
already
the
doing
word
exactly.
brand.
So she's the reason that all of us other girls
Yes.
are like, oh, we have to have something to do.
I think it's
so
great.
I feel
yeah.
like that is her truth.
Yes.
And that's fine for her. But when everyone else does it, it makes me crazy. I don't
Yeah.
want to see that. I'll go online. I'll go
Do you
to
still
your
have
website.
your unfiltered wine?
No, I don't.
Right. What
Yeah.
happened with that?
Well, unfortunately, my partners that I was an owner. When I left the show, they didn't want to put any money into advertising, so they thought they
You
had
just-
a home
yeah,
run
that you
because
just-
I would have it on TV, and that was not the case.
Yeah.
So it was like, we're not going to put any money into this or any effort. So I was on my own dime flying around to like Whole Foods and Bedmo's all over the fucking country, sitting there and signing bottles all day. And it just went away. And then, you know, it got trashed kind of like by Lisa Vanderpump. She had some people say some negative things about it. And, you know, it's hard to keep that up when you don't have a platform to promote
Right.
it and no one wants to put money into it. And when it did go away, I didn't want anyone to know because I was like, I cannot be associated with something that is failing. I don't want to scare any other opportunities away. But now it's just...
But alcohol's really hard. Like I even had Heather Dubrow when she had a
Her champagne,
season, the
yeah.
champagne, and she just goes, "What happened to your champagne?" Because she sent me some, and it was very good. And she's just like, Heather, it costs so much to
It's
mail.
hard.
It's just not
Yeah,
a
the-
good product for someone like us.
Yeah,
it just
to
doesn't
ship
make
it,
sense.
It's so expensive because of the weight. And
Yeah.
then if you have just that one product, Southern Wine
Right.
and Spirits, it's not trying to push just your one product. They're pushing Gallo that has 85 different wines.
Right.
And they get incentives from and all of that. And I learned this because I went to the fucking meetings for Southern Wine and Spirits. Like, I was so involved. I was ready. I'm like, I will pound the pavement. I will do the work. And at the end of the day, if you don't have money behind it for advertising, and it's not going to make it.
Right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. So you're not dating anyone now, boys. You're
I
not
have a
dating-
French guy. But
You have a
we're,
French
like,
guy.
Yeah.
What about the guy that you were dating that then dated Donna D'Errico? What's that story?
I don't remember him.
Was that a story?
I don't think so.
All right, I don't know. Somebody asked it. We can take it out.
No, I don't care. I think that they might love attention, and I don't really want to give them any.
Right. Well, even when you talked about Sheena, in an interview, she had some guys that she was dating, and I talked about it when I saw her, and she's like, yeah, he blew me off, I guess, once he got his amount of followers from me, and I'm like,
yeah.
wow, that,
It's so sad.
it sucks,
But
and I think
guys
it's
do,
really
yeah.
hard, like exactly what you said, it's like either someone's too hungry to be on it, or they're going to be private, and then that's going to make your life a little
Harder.
difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm probably just going to grow old alone, which is fine.
Yeah. So you have your boys, and they're 16 and 13. Does the 16-year-old, do either one, or 12, do either one of them have girlfriends yet?
Yes, so Mason has a girlfriend.
The older one.
Yeah, the older one. Jake's had, the 12-year-olds had like 10 girlfriends.
Oh, he's a
They
player.
are like players. Mason's like a little more low-key. He's like, this is his third girlfriend. I like them all. The first one had like her name started with the same a bee.
Yeah.
And so she got all of my, like, you know those bedazzled gold,
Yes.
like diamond bees that we all wore like 85 years ago. So
Yeah.
each like birthday, Valentine's Day, I'm like, here's a bee, here's another bee, here's a bee, take it. So I got rid of my bees. But the girl he's with now, I really like her, and she's so beautiful, and I just hope that they stay together. Cause
So my stepdaughter had a boyfriend that she went in college. She's a she just finished her sophomore year, and she came home for Mother's Day and Father's Day, and just hanging out with me at my house. And I really loved her boyfriend. I thought he was cute. He was delightful, you know. And I go, so how's his name, you know? And she's like, well, we broke up. And I was like, oh, this is the first moment for me as a mother. I've never had a
Right.
child, significant other whom I like, break up. I'll never talk to that person again. I'll never be that woman,
Yeah.
because I know this happens with boys. So my boys don't have any girlfriends, but I know this happens with boys, like especially when they're like out of college, you know, and the sisters become friends with the girlfriend, and then the
Yeah,
moms,
yeah.
and then they break up, and then the mom and the sister still continue with that girl, and then the guy gets a new girlfriend, and he
It's like-
brings the new girlfriend to the
yeah.
party, and here's the fucking ex-girlfriend hanging out with the sisters, and I'm like, no,
No.
that's bullshit.
You
I will
can't.
not be that woman
No,
ever.
me either.
So I was like, oh. And she's like, I knew you'd be sad. And I go, no, I'm not sad. I'm like, I'm fine with it. I'm like, I just have to like process this, because this is a new stage
someone
of
came
motherhood.
into your life, and then
Yeah.
they're out of your life.
And this is a new stage
Right.
of motherhood.
But
you
you
know?
have to be ride or die for your children out
Yes.
there, people. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If a girl's gone, she's gone. You don't get to stay friends with her.
Yes.
You liked her for the moment, it's fine. I always tell Mason, just
Unless there's kids involved and you're
Yeah,
now the grandparent,
yeah.
then definitely stay in touch with the ex so that
We're
you
not
can see the
grandparents
No,
out there.
thank God, no,
Thank
and nowhere
God.
soon.
no.
I tell everybody, nobody has a baby until you're 30. Till
Yeah.
you're 30.
32. Yeah.
32.
Yeah.
That's
30 is
the
just
new
like a
real-
weird
30.
number where you have like a breakdown. So
32. Well, I love talking to you. I'm just really glad we've had our fun times. We've had our not fun times. I'd love to see you back on Housewives.
Oh, thank
You know, I hope your boys and my boys continue to thrive. And I'm
That's
just
it.
glad. I'm glad that you're doing it. And of course, Brandi's had her podcast for many years, and she always delivers. And so.
I
check
feel
her
like it's kind of
podcast out,
been
too.
lame a little bit lately. I don't know why. Just
This
because.
is not a great way to sell it.
I'm
trying to-
check it out. Well, because I've been doing it from my house and I'm moving and
And
like
you have
I
a lot
can't get
going
a
on.
guest and
You
I'm
have a-
like,
you have a lot going
no
on.
one wants to listen to Salvador and I talk about like stupid shit anymore. Like, okay, we need to get a guest in here. It's like it's time.
Well, you have your stuff. You're gonna get your, get healthy, get your plays, get it going. The body's still killer,
Thank you.
and that's all that matters.
Bodies are all that matters. I mean, we live in LA. It's a town of being superficial.
This
It's all
was
that matters.
Super,
Our
super
kids.
fun. Thank you, Brandi.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Oh, that was super fun.
great. Is there anything that you need? Oh, let's get her with the release.